Food and Movement, Module number 7. Try something new. When it comes to exercise, many of us are creatures of habit. We head for the same class at the gym, log the same workout on the elliptical trainer, and run the same route every single time we lace up our sneakers. Sure, regular exercise is good for you, but it's also important to vary your fitness routine. Your body and brain will reap benefits when you try new activities. There are numerous benefits to mixing up your workout routine, says Arnold Lee, MD. It's the key to stimulating different muscle groups and preventing boredom. There's no shortage of different types of exercises to try. If you tend to gravitate towards more traditional activities like running, biking, or swimming, look for ways to change up your workout. For instance, instead of running on the treadmill or the road, head for a wooded trail or a local park. Not only will you experience and work your body in a different way that can enhance your overall fitness level. Here are 7 benefits to tweaking your exercise routine. 1. Break through a weight loss plateau. When you do the same activity all the time, your body gets used to it and becomes very efficient, explains Lee. Eventually, that adaptation will mean that you burn fewer calories even when you're doing the same amount of exercise. The solution is to challenge your body in a way that it's not used to. Your body will have to work harder as it adjusts to the new activity, which means that you'll burn more calories when you work out. And don't forget to eat sensibly. Regular exercise and a healthy diet are both important for weight loss. 2. Prevent overuse injuries. There's a reason why you get hurt when you put your body through the same motions over and over again. It's called repetitive strain injury, says Lee. This type of injury often occurs from doing lots of repetitive motions, such as running, hitting a tennis ball, kicking, like in kickboxing or martial arts classes, or performing the same swim stroke. By mixing up your activities, you give those overused muscles, joints, and ligaments a chance to rest and recover before putting them into action again. And if you do get injured, performing a different activity that doesn't strain the same part of your body will allow you to stay in shape and heal at the same time. 3. Build new muscles. 3. Build new muscles. Ever notice how you can quickly identify a professional swimmer by his powerful arms and shoulders and a long-distance runner by her chiseled legs? That's because professional athletes focused almost exclusively on one sport, and that sport builds a very specific set of muscles. But for recreational exercises, the best approach is to do a little of everything. That way, you'll build a strong heart for endurance, muscular legs, and powerful upper body. You'll look great and physically be ready to take on a variety of sports and activity. 4. Beat workout boredom. If you find yourself literally counting down the seconds left in your elliptical workout, or can hardly stand the sight of the same streets as you run down them, it's time to switch up your routine. Keep your workouts from getting stale by constantly trying new things. Venture into a Zumba class for a total change of pace, or just try tweaking your usual activity. For instance, instead of running the same distance at your customary pace, add some speed intervals. After you've warmed up, do a series of 30-second sprints followed by 2 minutes of slower jogging to recover. Keep repeating that, and you'll reach the end of your run feeling invigorated. 5. Help keep your brain healthy. Exercise is essential for keeping your brain sharp and helping to prevent memory loss. And learning new skills also helps keep your neurons firing better. So learning a new exercise activity when it comes to brain health. Ballroom dancing and other activities that require some skill and memorization are a good option. The key is to choose activities that keep you engaged. Don't pick things that you can do on autopilot. You don't need to overtly exert yourself to reap the benefits of exercise for your brain and memory, but you should exercise regularly. Research shows that active individuals have a lower risk of diabetes, high cholesterol, hypertension, which is high blood pressure, and stroke, which can affect memory. 6. Meet new workout partners. One of the best ways to stay engaged with exercise and committed to a regular schedule of activity is to find people you want to work out with. And what better way to find someone than to try a new activity? Join a running group to find a partner to meet for jogs, try a spin class, and find someone you can go for a bike ride with, or strike up a conversation while just in a yoga class, or ask a friend to join you in trying a new activity. 7. Get excited about exercise again. When too many days in a row go by that you'd rather hit the snooze button than hit the gym, it's definitely time to make a change. It may take a little trial and error before you find a new workout you enjoy, but stick with it until you do. Then, change up your routine so that you include several types of activity every week. You'll see better results and have a lot more fun doing it. Organics. Originally, all foods were organic. They were grown and prepared without pesticides, herbicides, chemical fertilizers, hormones, or irradiation. Foods were unrefined, whole, or minimally processed. Since World War II and the advent of chemical farming and food processing, the soils and foods of much of the world have been depleted of many importance and nutrients. Our food these days, whether vegetable or animal in origin, is not only deficient in nutrients but also full of pollutants and farming chemicals. The modern process of denaturing food via heavily refining and chemical treatment deeply affects the life force of our food supply, making it difficult to foster equilibrium and health. Pesticides, which have been shown to cause cancer and liver, kidney, and blood diseases, create extra work for the immune system. They lodge and accumulate in tissue, resulting in a weakened immune system, and consequently allow other carcinogens and pathogens to filter into the body and affect our health. Organic certification is the public's assurance that products have been grown and handled according to strict procedures, without persistent toxic chemical inputs. Here are the top 10 reasons to buy and eat organic food. 1. Keep chemicals off your plate. Food. 1. Keep chemicals off your plate. Pesticides are poisons designed to kill living organisms and thus are harmful to humans. Many approved pesticides were registered long before extensive research linked these chemicals to cancer and other diseases. Organic agriculture is a way to prevent any more of these chemicals from getting into the air, water, and food supply. 2. Protect future generations. Children are 4 times more sensitive to exposure to cancer-causing pesticides in foods than adults. 3. Protect water quality. Pesticides pollute the public's primary source of drinking water for more than half the country's population. 4. Organic farmers work in harmony with nature. 3 billion tons of topsoil erodes from croplands in the U.S. each year, and much of it is due to conventional farming practices, which often ignore the health of the soil, respects the balance necessary for a healthy ecosystem. Wildlife is encouraged by including forage crops in rotation and by retaining fence rows, wetlands, and other natural areas. 5. Save energy. More energy is now used to produce synthetic fertilizers than to till, cultivate, and harvest all the crops in the U.S. 6. Help small farmers. Although more and more large-scale farms are making the conversion to organic practices, most organic farms are small, independently owned and operated family farms. USDA reported that in 1997, half of U.S. farm production came from only 2% of farms. Organic agriculture can be a lifeline for small farms because it offers an alternative market where sellers can demand fair prices for crops. 7. Support a true organic foods might seem expensive at first. However, your tax dollars pay for hazardous waste cleanup and environmental damage caused by conventional farming. 8. Promote biodiversity. Planting large plots of land with the same crop year after year tripled farm production between 1950 and 1970, but the lack of natural diversity of plant life has negatively affected soil quality. 9. Nourishment. Organic farming starts with the nourishment of the soil, in turn producing nourishing plants. Well-maintained soil produces strong, healthy plants that have more nutrients than conventionally grown practice. And 10. Flavor. Organic produce simply tastes better. Conduct your own taste test. You hear a lot about GMOs these days. What is the best way to avoid them? Eat whole foods. What exactly is a GMO? Genetically modified foods have had foreign genes inserted into their genetic codes. Genes change every day by natural mutation and recombination, creating new biological variations. Humans have been exploiting this for centuries, shuffling genes in increasingly systematic ways, and use extensive crossing and artificial selection to create many combinations that would never otherwise have occurred. Just about everything we eat is derived from livestock, crops, and microorganisms bred specifically to provide food. Humans have also redistributed genes geographically. The soybean is native to Asia but is now grown throughout the Americas. And the potato, native to the American continent, is grown throughout the temperate world. So DNA has never been static, neither naturally nor at the hand of people. Genetic modification is an extension of this. However, unlike conventional breeding in which new assortments of genes are created more or less at random, it allows specific genes to be isolated, identified, copied, and introduced into other organisms in much more direct and controlled ways. The most obvious difference from conventional breeding is that genetic modification allows us to transfer genes between species. The average American diet relies heavily on corn, not so much in its vegetable form, which is okay in moderation, but in its more toxic form, like high fructose corn syrup, which is found in a lot of the fake processed foods available in your grocery store or restaurants. If you are a vegan or a vegetarian, you probably get soy in your diet as a protein substitute. The potential benefits of genetically engineered food include more nutritious food, tastier food, disease and drought-resistant plants that require fewer environmental resources, decreased use of pesticides, increased supply of food with reduced cost and longer shelf life, faster-growing plants and animals, food with more desirable traits, such as potatoes that absorb less fat when fried, medicinal foods that can be used as vaccines or other medications. Potential risks include modified plant or animals may have genetic changes that are unexpected and harmful. Modified organisms may interbreed with natural organisms and outcompete them, leading to extinction of the original organism or to other unpredictable environmental effects. And plants may be less resistant to some pests and more susceptible to others. It's easy to see that there are perceivable benefits to genetically modifying our food. It is less apparent to many that there can be a huge and detrimental impact upon our health by eating the same. So what should we do? We can remove processed foods from your diet and eat whole foods. Eat animal protein that is organic and naturally raised. It's virtually impossible to provide a complete list of genetically modified food in the United States because there aren't any laws for genetically modified crops. Some estimates say that as many as 30,000 different products on grocery store shelves are modified. That's largely because many processed foods contain soy. Half of North America's soy crop is genetically engineered. Rapeseed. Resistance to certain pesticides and improved rapeseed cultivars to be free of uric acid and glucosinates. Glucosinates, which were found in rapeseed meal left over from pressing, are toxic and had prevented the use of meal in animal feed. In Canada, where 00 rapeseed was developed, the crop was renamed canola, as in Canadian oil, to differentiate it from non-edible rapeseed. Honey. Honey can be produced from genetically modified crops. Some Canadian honey comes from bees collecting nectar from GM canola plants. This has shut down exports of Canadian honey to Europe. Cotton. Resistant to certain pesticides. Considered a food because the oil can be consumed. The introduction of genetically engineered cotton plants has had an unexpected effect on Chinese agriculture. The so-called Bt cotton plants that produce a chemical that kills the cotton bollworm have not only reduced the incidence of that pest in cotton fields, but also in neighboring fields of corn, soybean, and other crops. Rice. Genetically modified to contain high amounts of vitamin A, rice contains human genes and is to be grown in the U.S. Rather than end up on dinner plates, the rice will make human proteins useful for treating infant diarrhea in the developing world. Genetically modified to be resistant to herbicides. Soy foods, including soy beverages, tofu, soy oil, soy flour, and lecithin. Other products may include breads, pastries, snack foods, baked products, fried products, edible oil products, and special purpose foods. Sugarcane has been made resistant to certain pesticides. A large percentage of sweeteners used in processed food actually comes from corn, not sugarcane or beets. Genetically modified sugarcane is regarded so badly by consumers at the present time that it could not be marketed successfully. Tomatoes have been modified and made for a longer shelf life to prevent a substance that causes tomatoes to rot and degrade. Corn has been made resistant to certain pesticides. Corn oil, flour, sugar, or syrups will be where you encounter that. May include snack foods, baked goods, fried foods, edible oil products, confectionery, special purpose foods, and soft drinks. Sweet corn, genetically modified to produce its own insecticide. Officials from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration have said that thousands of tons of genetically engineered sweet corn have made their way into the food supply for humans, even though the produce has been approved only for use in animal feed. Recently, Monsanto, a biotechnology food producer, said that about half of the USA's sweet corn acreage has been planted with genetically modified seed this year. Canola. Canola oil may contain edible oil products, fried food, and baked products and snack foods. Potatoes, including Atlantic, Russet Burbank, Russet Norcata, and Shepherdie, may include snack foods, processed potato products, and other processed foods containing potatoes. Flax. More and more food products contain flax oil and seed because of their excellent nutritional properties. No genetically modified flax is currently grown. An herbicide-resistant GM flax was introduced in 2001, but was soon taken off the market because European importers refused to buy it. Papaya. The first virus-resistant papayas were commercially grown in Hawaii in 1999. Transgenic papayas now cover about 1,000 hectares, or 3/4 of the total Hawaiian papaya crop. Monsanto donated technology to Tamil Nadu Agricultural University for developing a papaya resistant to the ring spot virus in India. Squash, or yellow crookneck. Some zucchini and yellow crookneck squash are also genetically modified, but they are not popular with farmers. Red-hearted chicory, or radicchio. Chicory is popular in some regions as a salad green, especially in France and Belgium. Scientists developed a genetically modified line of chicory containing a gene that makes it male sterile, simply facilitating the production of hybrid cultivars. Today, there is no genetically modified chicory on the market. Cottonseed oil and linters. Products may contain blended vegetable oils, fried foods, baked foods, snack foods, edible oil products, and small goods casings. Tobacco. The company has a GMO tobacco being sold under the brand of Quest cigarettes in the U.S. It is engineered to produce low or no nicotine. Meat. Meat and dairy products usually come from animals that have eaten genetically modified feed. Peas. Genetically modified peas create immune responses in mice, suggesting that they may also create serious allergic reactions in people. The peas had been inserted with a gene from kidney beans, which creates a protein that acts as a pesticide. Vegetable oil. Most genetic vegetable oils and margarines used in restaurants and in processed foods in North America are made from soy, corn, canola, or cottonseed. Unless these oils specifically say non-GMO or organic, it is probably genetically modified. Sugar beets may include any processed foods, processed foods containing sugar. Dairy products. About 22% of the cows in the U.S. are injected with recombinant or genetically modified bovine growth hormone. And vitamins. Vitamin C or ascorbic acid is often made from corn. Vitamin E is usually made from soy. Vitamins A, B2, B6, and B12 may be derived from GMOs, as well as vitamin D and vitamin K may have carriers derived from GM corn sources such as starch, glucose, and maltodextrin.